The hardest phase of building anything meaningful is not failure, it is invisibility. When nobody notices the effort, nobody notices the sacrifice, nobody notices the hours, nobody notices the progress. The outside world says nothing. And because the outside world says nothing, many people convince themselves that nothing is happening. That is where most journeys end. Hi, I'm Bhavindesai. Human beings naturally wants evidence. Evidence that work matters. Evidence that direction is correct. Evidence that the investment is producing something valuable. But life does not always operate that way. Sometimes the longest periods produces the least visible results. A seed beneath the soil looks exactly the same day after day. From above, there is no movement, no proof, no excitement. Yet underneath, an entire system is forming. Roots are separating, foundations are strengthening, preparation is happening. The same things happens in life. Many important changes begins where nobody can see them. The way somebody starts thinking, the way somebody starts observing, the way somebody starts responding to situations. This transformation is happening, but because it cannot be measured immediately, people becomes impatient. Impatience has ended more dreams than failure ever could. People leave too early, quit too early, turn back too early. But because they lacked ability, because they demanded visible proof too quickly, modern society had created an addiction to immediate evidence, immediate likes, immediate replies, immediate reactions, immediate outcomes. People have become uncomfortable with processes that require silence. Yet almost everything valuable grows slightly first. A building begins with drawing nobody admires. A masterpiece begins with a rough version nobody sees. An empire begins with convictions nobody remembers. The beginning rarely looks impressive. That is why vision matters. Vision is the ability to continue when evidence is absence. Nobody can move when results are visible. Very few continue where progress is hidden. That is where separations happens. There are people who need applause to continue, and there are people who continue without applause. The second group eventually creates things the first group only talks about because external recognition is unpredictable. Some people will notice, some people will not. Some people will understand, some people will not. Making progress depends on recognition creates a fragile foundation. A strong foundation comes from something else, convictions. The quiet certainty that what is being built matters even before anyone else understands it. Convictions creates endurance. Endurance creates longevity. And longevity creates outcome that short-term thinking can never achieve. There is an invisible reasons deserves respect. Those reasons reveals character. They reveal whatever somebody is committed to the resignation or merely attached to attention. The difference becomes obvious for over time. Attention seekers disappears when attention disappears. Builders continue building. That is why some of the most important chapter of the life feels lonely, not because something is wrong, because construction often happens away from crowds. The crowds unusually arrives after the structure is complete, never before. Remember that. The world celebrates finished products. The world rarely celebrates unfinished work. That reality fluctuates many people, but it should actually creates freedom because it means progress does not require permission. It does not require validation. It does not require approval. It only requires continuations. One step, then another. One improvement, then another. One lesson, then another. Eventually, what was invisible becomes undeniable, not suddenly, gradually, until one day people call it success. What they never see is the season where nothing seems to be happening, the season where growth exists without evidence, the season where persistence matters more than decorations. That season changes people. It creates depth, it creates patience, it creates strength that cannot be borrowed from approach. And once somebody develops that kind of strength, they become inseparably difficult to discourage because they no longer need constant proof to continue. They understand something most people never learn. The absence of visible result does not mean the absence of progress. Sometimes the most important work is happening where nobody can see it, including you. And if this message speaks to the part of you building something nobody else understood yet, like, subscribe, and comment.